All right, phase 3 is conversion. Make sure you have a marketing funnel. What is a marketing funnel? You want to make sure you have that. So here's an example. Let's say you're doing Facebook advertising. The top of the funnel stuff, you want to catch attention. So that's why we have these humorous videos, right? And the motion graphic video. You want to catch attention with something that just stops them in their tracks. If they watch 30 seconds of that video, you can move them down the funnel into something that's a little more, have them take a little more action. For instance, sign up for our webinar. And you know, again, you want to have monthly webinars, so that's the one that you're talking about. Or do this checklist. If you start with, you know, download this checklist way up here, they don't even know who you are. They're not going to download the checklist. But if it's someone that has watched 30 seconds of your video, or someone that hit that remarketing tag, then boom, they're right there in a second, because now they know who you are. Now you can get them to sign up for that webinar, or now you can get them to download that checklist. And then after that, once they've done either of those two actions, then you can move them into book a call. That's an example of a funnel. Funnels are important. Again, Russell Brunson, love them. Can we have like Russell Brunson's book come up here? There's like traffic secrets and .com secrets. They're awesome. They're awesome. And they talk all about funnels. He's the pioneer there, and it's helped us a lot. 8-step telemarketing process. So if you're interested in doing telemarketing, I recommend it. We have a nice ROI from telemarketing. You're not going to get a ton of new business from telemarketing. It's one piece of the pie, but it's a piece that gets paid for pretty quickly. There's a high return on investment. Use our telemarketing scripts. We have a partnership with a company called Contact Science. Reach out to us. We can get you set up with them. You get a discount. They load up our campaigns. It's awesome. So that's a good way to do it. Set up live chat on your website. This is easy. It's mostly free. You can use HubSpot. When someone messages you on the website, have it pop up on your phone. You don't have to be on your web, you know, on Outlook or anything like that. So that's important. It's going to help you convert. Send a value-based email campaign to all prospects. What does that mean? So we really like tech tips. We got this from a guy in Colorado. He's one of my really good friends. That's one of the only marketing things that he does. He sends these tech tips every single week, and he's closed $500,000 in recurring revenue from tech tip videos alone. So it's one of the things that we recommend you do. Do it to cold prospects and do it to your clients, because again, it's not salesy, it's education. In addition, you're sending those prospects those webinar trainings. That's value. If you're going to teach them how to use Excel and you just paid a guy, an expert, to teach Excel, that's value. Here's an example. We're in Florida. To our prospects, we sent a hurricane preparedness checklist. No other MSP did that, zero. But we're all in Florida. All the other MSPs are either letting their clients or their prospects hanging. We're the ones providing the value, saying, hey, make sure you do this. That had a huge response. So that's what you want to do with your email. Not, you want to book a meeting? Do you want to book a meeting? Mine, right? Like, send them value. You don't want to go into public and go like this because you're embarrassed by the emails you're sending, right? Like, you want to make sure that when someone reads your emails, they're like, I think I did subscribe to this. Make sure you have an excellent presentation. So this is something we're trying to build a template on MSP Camp. Hopefully by the time you see this, we already have it. Make sure you have an excellent presentation for your company, that when you sit down with that large prospect, you're going to wow them. You're not always going to bring out the presentation. The client's got like 10 users. They don't want to see a presentation. They don't really care, right? But if a client has 100 users and it's a co-managed deal and they're talking to 3 MSPs, you got to have a polished presentation that really tells them about who you are and why they should work with you. Ensure you have a strong sales process and measure your conversion rates. So a lot of times MSPs think they're sales masters because they're getting mostly referrals. Once they start marketing, they realize they're not as good at sales. That's what happened to me. I was like, oh, wow, I actually kind of suck at this. So make sure you practice and get better at your sales process. And that doesn't mean mind tricks and psychology tricks. Just be yourself, but make sure you have a nice process to get them from, I think I want to work with you, to yes, where do I sign? So make sure you have that, and make sure you measure your conversion rates. So make sure you know how many leads, how many people do you talk to, and how many of those end up turning into clients. The content on MSP Camp, like these infographics and these motion graphic videos and these things that we have, can not only be used for marketing to get people into your business, but they can be used in the sales meeting. For instance, what's the differences between the Microsoft 365 license and a nice, easy format to read? No other MSP is providing that. They just leave the question unanswered. So use that information and use that content in your sales presentation. It's going to help your conversion rate go up. We noticed that when we started using this type of content in our sales meetings after we already got the lead, the conversion rate went up because we look more polished than the other MSPs. Have a communication plan for your clients. This is huge. We have an account management guide that you should review if you're interested in learning more about this. We also have an upcoming podcast on this. You need to make sure you're not leaving your current clients hanging because they're paying you a lot of money. You don't want the only communication with them is service tickets and that QBR, which is more like annual, ABR. So make sure you have a good communication plan. Does that include a printed newsletter? Is it that email newsletter? What does that communication plan look like to keep your current clients engaged? Because retention in the MRR space is pretty much just as important as addition in the MRR space. So just keep them happy. Our clients are like raving fans, and yes, we have a great service desk, but we also have a lot of personality here. Like we do a lot of cool stuff. Like we give them custom mugs and custom calendars. We invite them to the Smash-a-thon. Like they like being involved with our company. So make sure you can develop that. And then long form network and security review for new clients and shorter ones for current clients. So we call QBRs network and security reviews. When a new client comes on, don't try and keep it short. It's okay if it's an hour and a half, 2 hours of really diving in deep with them. They always, when you do that, they feel so great. They're like, man, they really put the time in. They brought the account manager, the person that sold me on this, and the chief technology officer to it. And then for subsequent reviews, they can be shorter and more concise. I know that was a lot. I know this is a ton, and it might seem overwhelming. But if you just consistently stick to this framework, just go through this, make sure these boxes are checked all the time. Pair that with our campaign implementation checklist. These go hand in hand, which you'll learn more about in the next module. And I have no doubt you are going to grow your MSP more than other MSPs in your area. And that's a fact because they're not doing this. How many MSPs do you think are actually doing everything on this list? Very, very little, especially smaller ones. So consistently execute. Make sure you get an intern or coordinator to help you with this. I can't stress that enough because people might try and do it themselves and they start getting leads, they start getting busier, and then it drops off. So have someone that owns this. And you can say, all right, where are we at with all of these things? So it's just a nice guide to stay consistent. Well, thank you so much for bearing with me through the Ultimate MSP Marketing Guide. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next module.